Thank you, Michael. So
Yes.
as Michael was saying, my name is Cameron, or I go by the name Cam. I'm a PhD student with the history department at York University. I'm also a TA for History 1095, Street Life, the Culture, and History of European Cities. That course focuses on London and Paris during the 19th and 20th centuries. My background is English minor, and I may be pursuing a third degree come September 2021 in education. I'm looking forward to having all of you here. So this class is designed for the grades between 7 and 9. And before I get into the class, just want to do a brief overview. So this class is designed to help you improve your writing, specifically essay writing, which is the major skill you'll be doing from high school until you graduate college, university. So trust me, it's all essay writing from here, but there are also other aspects of this course. You will learn how to write properly, neatly, how to construct a topic sentence, how to brainstorm, what makes a good paragraph, what makes a bad paragraph. And these are things that we can explain hopefully if you sign up. So I just want to show you what the course looks like before we get started with today's specific activity. So I'm just going to share my screen. All right, can everybody see my screen? Give me a thumbs up if you can see my end of the screen.
Yes, Cam, we can see very clearly.
So I just want to show you some of the things we'll be doing. So for example, we'll be doing some persuasive writing. We also have creative writing, poetry writing, essay writing, newspaper writing. So if I just open up, let's just say the first one, persuasive writing. This is what it looks like. These are some of the activities. So this will be one example of where you learn how to write a persuasive essay. And persuasive essay means why your point is right. And these are just one of the many lessons that we will be teaching you between January and June, if I'm correct. So hang on. Oh, sorry, just a student. So today I'm just going to stop sharing screen because I want to bring up today's lesson. And today's lesson is more, I would say, as a fun lesson. Okay, so today our lesson is going to focus on paragraph writing, but for the city, but we're going to be looking at New York City. So how many of you have been to New York City before? Any of you have been to New York? Jennifer's been to New York, cool. Looks like Diana's not been to New York. Clipper's been to New York, cool. Anyone else has been to New York? Ethan's been to New York, cool. So some of you's have been to New York. Gavin's been to New York, cool. Evan, cool. I've also been to New York. I went there for a weekend with my dad and sister, and it's very fun. And today, that's what we're going to be focusing on. We're going to be focusing on brainstorming and essay writing for New York City. So I just want to grab a sense, because some of you have been to New York. What did you like about New York? You can either tell me in the chat or unmute yourself. For me, it had to be the Empire State Building and Ground Zero. I thought that those were fascinating sites. So what did you guys like about New York? So remember, you can, all right, let's see here. Okay, Ethan said he liked Brooklyn Bridge, cool. Jennifer says she liked the Statue of Liberty. Diana says she liked, seeing the life of New York. I like looking at the people bustling. Clipper said nothing, okay, cool. Eric said the Empire State Building. So I'm glad, this class, Gavin said the Rockefeller Building. So I'm glad this class is familiar with New York. Okay, looks like I have one more comment. Okay, so.
Actually, one thing, Cam, just accuse me quickly. Boys, girls, guys, you guys, even this writing class, I know you guys are typing in the Zoom chatting, but definitely you guys can raise your hand from Zoom or just unmute one by one, answer the question. That'd be more interactive. Okay, Cam?
All right, yeah, just talk. All right, so I first want to begin with the question, and then there are several things that I want to do. So the first question I want to do is why do you want to go to New York City, or why do you want to travel to New York City? And I want to brainstorm, and I want to show you guys on how to brainstorm. So brainstorming is really important, and I'm hoping you're writing this down. And I'm hoping you're writing this down because it's important. So why do you want to travel to New York City? Okay, so this is where we brainstorm. So and it's always important to brainstorm your ideas, especially before writing, because you get to write down your thoughts, you get to organize your notes, and it really makes your writing more effective and productive. So the question is, why do you want to visit New York City? And so that's the question guys, if you're not chatting, I'm getting a lot of chats, just don't, if you have something to contribute, just raise your hand. Other than that, just try to leave the chat alone. All right, so why do you want to visit New York City? And that is our topic sentence. And usually when we have our topic sentence, we start to break down our paragraph. So we have our intro, we have our thesis, we have our 3 arguments, and finally we have our closing. So this is what the body of a paragraph looks like. You have your introduction, where you introduce the topic. You have your thesis, and your thesis is the argument, or your thesis is what you're trying to argue. You have your 3 arguments of argument 1, argument 2, argument 3, and finally, we have our closing sentence. So a lot of you guys were telling me that you went to New York City and you liked it for a variety of reasons. Now, but I want to hear also from those who have not been to New York City. So let's talk about what are some reasons we want to go to New York. So I'm hoping to get those who have not been to New York to participate as well. So can somebody please tell me one reason why they want to go to New York City, whether you've been there or you've not have been there? So if you can raise your hand or just talk, that would be great. So what's one reason one of you wants to go to New York City?
I want
yes.
to see the Empire State Building.
Okay, you want to see the Empire State Building. Very good. So the topic sentence is, I want to see the Empire State Building. Very good. Now this is our argument. Now, our topic sentence is, which tells the reader what the paragraph is about. I want to see the Empire State Building. Now we need to build it up with supporting detail. So point 1. Okay, so why do you want to see the Empire State Building? This is where we have our supporting details. Our supporting details supports the overall argument, and it proves why. So somebody, why do you want to see the Empire State Building? Anybody, doesn't have to be, even if you've never been there, you can be creative. Somebody, why do you want to see the Empire State Building?
I guess I wanted to see its height and visit it as a historical monument.
All right, very good. That's very good, very good. I want to see it. I'll give me 1 second. Okay, Sophia, thank you. I want to see it because it is a historical site. Good. Sophia, I saw your hand up. Why do you want to visit the Empire State Building?
You can see a really nice view if you go up to the there's you can see a really nice view at the top.
You can see all of New York City. Very good, very good. All right. let's see. I'm getting some in the chat. All right. So the topic sentence is I want to see the Empire State Building. Supporting detail 1. I want to see it because it is a historical site. Supporting detail number 2. You can see all of New York City. Now we have our argument, we have our topic sentence, we have our supporting detail. Now we need a closing sentence. You cannot finish an argument without having a closing sentence, and the closing sentence should wrap up the first argument. So remember, the topic sentence is I want to see the Empire State Building. What is a closing sentence? What is a closing sentence that we can say to finish up, to finish up a first argument?
Maybe something like overall, it's an amazing building.
Very good. Overall, the Empire State Building is an amazing building. I apologize if the conclusion's at the top. I'm running out of room. Very good. All right. So topic sentence 1. I want to see the Empire State Building. I want to see it because it is a historical site. You can see all of New York. That is true. When you are on the Empire State Building, you literally can see all of New York and see the Statue of Liberty from there. And the closing sentence is the Empire State Building is overall an amazing building. Let's do another one. All right, let me just clear this. All right, supporting detail number 2. Sophia, what's another reason why we should visit New York City?
Oh, I just had a question.
Yeah.
Aren't we supposed to not use first person in essay writing?
It depends. If it's so there's 2 types of essay writing you're going to be taught when you're in high school. It's called formal and informal essay writing. Formal essay writing is where you're writing from an academic point of view, and informal essay writing is when you're writing from a more creative point of view. And but this is something they allow you to do in university. When you are writing a formal piece of writing, you are allowed to say the word I. You are, yes. So yes, you are allowed to say the word I when writing formally. All right. So yes, you can say the word I. All right. So the first reason we talked about is Empire State Building. All right, guys. What's another reason why we want to visit New York? I don't want to give all the answers. Sophia, you just raised your hand. Let me just see if anyone else, if nobody else raises their hand, then I can, then I'll choose you. I just want to get us more participants. Guys, can you please turn on your camera? I noticed a lot of you have shut it off. All right, thank you. Ethan said to me, learning opportunities. So Ethan, what do you mean by learning opportunities?
Like maybe like you're maybe doing a research for like high school and you could maybe go to New York to get like more information.
All right, good job. So we can say New York City a trip to New York City can be educational. A trip to New York City can be educational. Very good. All right, Ethan. So we're talking about the educational aspect of New York. So Ethan, what's one thing that you can do in New York that is very educational?
Learn more about the history, about like how the Twin Towers went down.
Okay, very good. Learn about the history of the Twin Towers. Good job. Okay, I'm getting more participants in the chat. Okay, yeah, Clipper, 9/11, we talked about that. Sophia, I saw you with your hand up. So Sophia, how can a trip to New York City be educational?
There's lots of different there's lots of different styles, I guess. It's one of the world's leading there's lots of art industries.
All right. So we can say we can learn New York's culture and its impact on, let's do art and theater, because I know they Broadway's down there. Very good. All right, so again, topic sentence number 2, a trip to New York City can be educational. We learn about the history of the Twin Towers. And finally, we get to learn New York City's culture and more specifically, its impact on art and theater. All right, now, so how should we wrap this up? How should this be our what is our closing sentence to wrap up idea number 2? Remember, closing sentence brings our argument to an end. And after we finish the closing sentence, we then move on to the next paragraph. So I'm just going to pick someone. Let's see here. Sophia, Sophia is active today. Henry, I'm going to pick you. Hello, Henry. Nope. Hello, David Shi. David Shi. I'll try one more, then I'll pick you, Sophia. Let's see here. Emma. Hello, Emma. Oh, wow. All right, Sophia, what's our closing sentence?
In conclusion, a trip to New York is a great learning experience.
Very good, very good. In conclusion, a trip to New York is a great learning experience. Very good. All right, so very good. So let's do the last one, and then I'll show you a different style of essay writing before we do one as a group, which I'm hoping to get more people. So we talked about the historical sites of New York, how it's educational. We talked about the opportunities, the art, the education. I'm seeing in the chat there's great food, and Clipper keeps saying that there's great food in New York. So Clipper, do you want to expand on that, bud, about New York's great food? So what kind of food do they have in New York, Clipper? Okay, let's see what he said. Clipper, can you just speak? I don't know what you're. Okay, Clipper says they have a variety of food. All right, good. So last argument is New York has a variety of food. All right, and so topic sentence is New York has a variety of food, 1.1. All right. Okay, now everyone is talking. All right, so for Mexican, so Clipper said from Mexican to Chinese, and I'll expand that. From Mexican to Chinese, you can experience a variety of foods. Okay, somebody else. Thank you, Clipper. All right, these are only foods New York, these are, okay, so we can say, Ethan said these are foods New Yorkers are known for, or we can say these are foods that New York is famous for. Excellent. All right, so our topic sentence is New York has a variety of foods. So from Mexican to Chinese, you can experience a variety of foods. These are famous foods that New York is famous for. So can somebody please give me a closing sentence? Remember, closing sentence wraps it up. Give me one. Sophia raised her hand. Sophia, you're doing great, but I just want to get others involved. If nobody joins, then I'll pick you. Let's see here. Okay, I see a second participant. Who raised their hand? Nathan, you raised your hand. Thank you, Nathan.
Maybe you can say New York has one of the most diverse food communities.
Very good. New York has one of the most diverse food communities. Very good. All right, topic sentence is New York has a variety of food. From Mexican to Chinese, you can experience a variety of food. These are the foods that New York is famous for, and New York has one of the most diverse food communities. Very good, guys. Excellent. All right. And it is true that New York is famous for. I've had some of I've had sushi in New York. I've had pizza in New York. Very good, but expensive. All right, I want to show you another type of essay, and it's called a Venn diagram. Venn diagram is also what we call a compare and contrast essay. In a compare and contrast essay, you discuss both the similarities and the differences. So this is very specific. So this is looking at the different seasons in New York. So on the left in the blue, we have winter. On the right in the yellow, we have summer. And in the center here, this is where we have the similarities. So I'll show you. So so these are the differences, and in the center is where we have the similarities. Venn diagram is really good, especially when your teacher asks you to write a compare and contrast essay, because you get to brainstorm your ideas. So I just we're not going to spend too much time on this, just because it's not one of the major parts, but I just want to bring it to your attention. So what are some things that you can do in New York? So New York, you get to have Christmas shows. It is cold, it is windy, it is decorated. What can you do in summer? Well, in the summer, it is hot, it is humid, it's walkable, you get to go to Central Park. And now, what are the similarities? Meaning, what are things that you can do both in the winter and the summer? Well, New York is beautiful, regardless if it's cold or hot. It's expensive. You can do shopping, and there are many delicious restaurants. And yes, it is overpriced. I agreed. Okay. I now want to bring your attention. To over here, reasons to visit New York, and I'm hoping to get more participants involved. So guys, remember, don't be shy. Just don't be shy. Just get involved. Raise your hand, even if you don't turn on the camera. Just get involved. So reasons to visit New York City. So these are all the different reasons, and so this is a Venn diagram. So Venn diagram is, or this is where we brainstorm. So in the center, you have the main idea, reasons to visit New York City, and then in the bold circles, we have the arguments. We have entertainment, food, architecture, history, sports, etc. So we're not going to do all 6 arguments. I'm just going to focus on 3. I'm going to focus on history. I'm going to focus on, let's do sports, and let's do entertainment. And like I said, these are the reasons. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm going to choose 2. So for example, I may just talk about Ground Zero, or I may talk about tours and how you get to go to see many tours. All right. Now we're going to talk about the reasons to visit New York City. All right, let's talk. So let me get my text. Reasons to visit New York City. And let's talk about some of the things. Let's talk about entertainment. So let's go up here, entertainment, or let's go to sports. So in New York is famous for hockey, baseball, basketball, football. All right, so can somebody please tell me a topic sentence about sports? So what is a topic sentence we can say about sports? Nobody here plays sports, so what is one reason? So what is one sentence we can say about sports?
It can help you stay fit.
Yeah, going in New York, living in New. Yeah.
You can also like the Los Angeles. No. You can watch like NBA.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. So let's just. Okay. So let me take my text. So going to New York. So going to New York, so I'm going to start the sentence, and I want somebody to finish the sentence. So going to New York, and how can we finish the sentence? So going to New York allows
maybe you can say going to New York allows for lots of fun with sports or something like
Yeah,
that.
very good. Allows you to have fun with sports. Very good. Going to New York allows you to have fun with sports. 1.1. All right, so what's okay, so somebody said basketball. What can we do in New York what can we do in New York and what can we do with basketball in New York? Okay, let's see. I got someone in the chat. Hang on. Play basketball. Okay. Going to New York allows you to play basketball. Very good. What's okay? So you can okay. I got another one. Yeah, breathe polluted air. So going to New York allows you to play basketball. Okay, good, because they do have a lot of communities. What's another reason about going to New York? Okay, let's see in the chat. We're not talking about good try, Ethan, but we're talking about sports, not buildings, not entertainment. Yes, you can play yes, you can play hockey. Yes, very good. So we also say you guys are going nuts in the chat. Well, okay, so you've play baseball, skate, play basketball. I'll watch the NBA. So we can say you can skate in New York. You can skate in New York. Good.
I think there might be some like maybe skateboard parks or like rollerblade scooter things.
Yeah, I'm sure, but we have a lot of reasons. So going to New York allows you to have fun with sports. Going to New York allows you to play basketball, or you can watch it, and you can also skate in New York. Can somebody please give me a closing sentence? Remember, closing sentence brings our paragraph to an end. What's a closing sentence that we can do?
A variety of sports that you can do and play in New York City.
Good job. So New York City offers a variety of sports. Excellent. All right. So main idea is going to New York allows you to have fun with sports. Going to New York allows you to play basketball. You can skate in New York. New York City offers a variety of sports. Very good. Next argument I want to do is entertainment. So let's just brainstorm. So we have Broadway, Times Square, comedy, plays, musical, street musicians. So just, and we'll only choose 2 of these. So just look at it, observe its content, and then we will go. Okay, so you guys have been doing a lot of the good work. So I'll give the topic sentence for this one. New York has a variety of entertainment. All right, guys. So what are some of the things we can do in New York that is so very good, very good. New York has Times Square, and I've been there. It's amazing. Okay, New York has Times Square. Okay, good. Well, you guys, let's see here. You get, yes, watch sports. Okay, we did talk about that. Thank you. Vast amounts of, Sophia says, vast amounts of play and Broadway. So we can say, New York is famous for its Broadway. Specifically, it is famous for its Broadway. Excellent. I see a couple more ideas in the chat. Okay, you can celebrate New York has theaters. You can celebrate New Year's Times Square. Shopping, that could be a new argument. I just want to give you guys a fun fact when I was in New York. So how many of you, raise your hand if you are familiar with Times Square? How many of you are familiar with Times Square or the building in front of Times Square?
Me, I'm only familiar with Times Square though.
Did you know the All right, so a lot of you know Times. So some of you know Times Square. This is an interesting fact, a historical fact. Did you know that Times Square itself, that it is not an office building, meaning that the inside of Times Square is completely abandoned. So we see Times Square for all its posters, entertainment, advertisement, but there's actually nothing inside Times Square. It's empty, it's vacant. So that was an interesting fact that I learned in New York, how it's like it looks full on the outside, but on the inside, there's nothing in Times Square building. Very good. All right, and can somebody please give me a conclusion?
In conclusion, New York has a lot of tourist attractions and fun places.
Excellent. In conclusion.
Oh, it makes an excellent tourist attraction place.
Very good, whoever said, and thank you. In conclusion, New York makes an excellent tourist attraction. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. But first things first, New York has top exciting is, New York has a variety of entertainment, New York has Times Square, New York's famous for its Broadway. In conclusion, New York makes an excellent tourist attraction. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Okay. Okay, guys, just give me 1 second. Just have to, I'm just looking. All right, guys. Finally, I want to do the last argument. So we talked, let's see, let me see what you guys want to talk about. Okay, so we talked about entertainment. Yes, Sophia, we talked about sports. We talked about history. Why not we talk about shopping? Because I did do a lot of shopping in New York. So look at this, guys. So we have Fifth Avenue. We have toy stores, clothes, souvenirs. And I'll give you another second to look at this. Yes, Jennifer, food. We did talk about foods up here, Mexican, pizza, Italian. All right, guys, so I want this to be dedicated towards you. So what the topic said that we can come up with food? Sorry, with shopping.
New York shops offer a variety of gifts from around the world.
Okay, New York shops offer a variety of gifts from around the world. Okay, good job. All right, guys, so he said New York shops offer a variety of gifts from around the world, 1.1. So what are some things we can buy we can buy in New York? What are some things we can shop in New York? Okay, guys, you guys prefer the chat than talking. All right, so I'm seeing souvenirs. So you guys are writing one-word sentence. Can you try to like souvenirs? Can you try to, I know you just give me one-worded answer. Try to avoid giving me one-worded answer and try to turn it into a sentence. So I'm seeing a lot of food. I'm seeing a lot of souvenirs. So if you can take the word souvenir and turn it into a sentence, that would be great. Okay. So Jennifer said, you can buy toys. They do have a lot of toy stuff from what I remember. Very good. 1.2. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Offers many unique gifts. Okay, good. New York offers unique. So I can say New York offers unique gifts. You will only find there. And that is true. New York does offer very unique gifts that you can find there. So like when I went to the Empire State Building, I got t-shirts based on the Empire State Building, and you won't find Empire State Building t-shirts in Toronto. If you want an Empire State Building t-shirt, you have to go to New York to get an Empire State Building t-shirt. So that is very true. Okay, wow. Let's see. So you guys are saying, you know, there's, so let's see, there's a, so yeah, so you guys are saying there's Comic-Con, there's TwitchCon. there are special cons. So, okay, yeah, and so there are special events. Very good. So you can do many things in New York. All right, one more chat. Okay, so Ethan was saying he got a 2015 LED light glasses from New York, and that for New Year's, and that's only found in New York. Okay, Sophia, I'll go with you. Sophia said many opportunities to there are many opportunities to buy one of a kind many gifts. Very good. And I'm just gonna put your sentence there, Sophia, because that was a good sentence.
Yeah, souvenirs also. If you take a picture from, and then you can get a Rockefeller building.
Yeah, good. All right, so let me just copy Sophia's sentence. All right, guys, just go easy on the chat. Many opportunities. So many opportunities to buy gifts there that serves as a special memory. Okay, so topic sentences. New York shops offer a variety of gifts from around the world. You can buy toys. New York offers unique gifts you can only find there, and there are many opportunities to buy gifts that serve as special opportunities. Good. So very good. So there are other things within the essay that we couldn't do just because of time. Obviously, we were focusing on the meat and potatoes, the 3 body paragraphs. We also have the introduction, and I guess I can briefly talk about it, and I'm hoping you're writing this down. The introduction, so I'll just write a couple points. The intro opens up your essay, discuss, you can talk about your arguments. And this is pretty much universal for any essay. Talk about your arguments. And then finally, your thesis, which is the main argument, which is New York is the Big Apple. Good. So thesis. So this is just, I know we didn't do this just because we ran out of time. We don't have that much time. So it's in your introduction. The introduction allows you to open up your topic where you could discuss it. In the introduction, you also talk about your arguments. And then finally, which is usually the last sentence, you have the thesis. And now the closing, and now the conclusion. Conclusion, I find, is the easiest part or of the essay. A conclusion is more of a reflection of the introduction. You have your thesis, your arguments, arguments, and then finally the so what part. So the conclusion is the reflection of the introduction, and it's very similar. So in your conclusion, you restate your thesis, you quickly summarize your arguments, argument 1, argument 2, and argument 3. And this is the most important part that I like to leave off, the so what part. The so what part is usually the last sentence in your conclusion. So what? And when I think about so what, this is what I was taught. So what? Why is your topic important? Why should we care? So somebody, can one of you please give me a sentence about New York? So what? So what about New York? Why should I care about New York? Why is New York that special? So what? So can somebody give me a sentence that explains the so what part? Okay, Sophia. So what?
Traveling to New York is an incredible experience that you wouldn't want to miss.
Very
because
good.
of all the unique activities you can do.
Very good, Sophia. And the so what part pretty much finishes up the essay, and I like that. And the so what part should be meaningful. Very good. Let me clear this. All right, so I just want to show you some other things before we wrap this up. So look, these are the homework. So today we discussed the many things, why we want to travel to New York City. And I'm hoping that all of you, if not most of you, or some of you can enroll in the class. And if you do choose to enroll in the class, I want you to choose one of these questions for homework. If you do sign up for the class, you will have access to the material such as this one and access to the Google Drive where you get to upload your homework, and I'll mark your homework, I'll give it a grade, and I'll give you back, and I'll give it feedback. So these are some of the questions you can do. What type of weather do you prefer? What's your method of transportation? Or some New York questions. Why do you not want to visit New York? Will you be returning to New York City anytime? What advice would you give to a friend who is trying to decide to visit New York City? So these are the many questions that you can access on the Google Drive. And if you do choose to do the homework, just choose one of the questions. So you choose one of the questions, and then after, when you choose one of the questions, I want you to brainstorm. So you would put the question in the center, and then using the circles, you would have the big ideas. So let's just do one for, let's say, for example, what do you not want to do in New York City? So I would have my square, what do you not want to do in New York City? And I would have my reason. I don't want to visit the subway system. And then I would, so let me just be more specific. Sorry. So I have my circle. I then have my text. So I don't want to visit I don't want to visit the subway system. I don't want to visit the subway system. I know my circle's not big enough. And then I draw a line, and then I give the reasons. And for example, New York subway is very dangerous. And this is what is very dangerous. And this is what you would do. You would have your reason, you would have the circle, and then you would give the specific reasons why. And I highly recommend you do that, not only for this type of writing, but also for all types of writing in your school, as it really organizes your writing, your ideas, and makes it more clear. Hang on. Okay. So in other words, I'm just going to wrap this up. So remember you choose a homework, you choose one of the questions, you brainstorm, you outline, and then you write it in an essay. So I just want to show you one last thing before we wrap it up. I just want to show you the course material of what some of the things we will learn, or some of the things we will do. Okay, just give me one sec, guys. It's just loading. Okay. So if you choose to, this course will be going from January to June. Essay writing, like I said, from grades 7 to 9. These are some of the many themes and topics we'll learn about: descriptive writing. We'll learn about descriptive writing, narrative writing, newspaper writing, persuasive writing, essay writing, which we are doing today, outline, which we are also doing today. And I highly recommend that you join the class, because you'll be learning a variety of skills that will really help you throughout your high school career, skills that will really help you throughout university and college, as you will learn how to organize your ideas, how to argue, where to have your voice, and most importantly, how to write well. I highly suggest you sign up. I'll be the teacher for the whole term, and I hope to see some of you there. Thank you.
Very good, Cam.
I just an example of descriptive writing, and these are some of the topics that we can do. Descriptive writing is how you want to paint a picture in the reader's mind, and so these are some topics: school cafeteria, emergency room at the hospital, or if we do newspaper writing, you'll be learning how to write a newspaper, how to write a hook, how to include quotations, how to include evidence. Let's see here, narrative writing. Narrative writing is when you explain it, is when you tell a story, you pick one of the topics, and you want to pick a topic that is meaningful and significant. And there's a lot of things that I can explain right now, but those are some of the larger topics that we would cover. Thank you.